Yeah, g'day guys, Okidoke here again. I just thought I'd do another quick recommendation while I'm walking back home. This time I want to talk about Joe Abercrombie's trilogy of The First Law. There was 3 books, of course, in the trilogy. They're quite big books, like 500-600 pages, but they're really enjoyable to read. It's set back in time, a long time ago, the time of, where there was warriors and wizards and things like that. So it's set back in time. The first book's called The Blade Itself. The second one, I believe, is called The Last Argument of Kings. I think that's the third one. I haven't got it in front of me, so I'm just doing this off the top of my head. And the other one's called Once They Were Hanged. I've got a feeling that's actually the second one. They seem to get longer as they go, so you need a bit of time to read them, but they are quite enjoyable. Joe Abercrombie writes really, really well, paints very vivid pictures of landscapes and battles, develops the characters really well. There's one character in there working for, if you want to term it, the bad side, he changes roles, but his character's name is Glotka. When you first come across him, you think, oh geez, what a nasty piece of work he is. He's in every book, in every part. I really liked him. I really enjoyed him. He was, I felt really sorry for the poor bugger. He suffers from a few ailments, and one's a back condition, which I can relate to, but he was enjoyable to read about. He's trying his best to work his way up the ranks and make his money. He's always subservient to somebody. Now the other characters, Logan Nine Fingers, I think, was that his name? He's quite a big warrior type guy with his band of followers. We're talking Magi, maybe that's pronounced that way. So there's a bit of magic in this too. And this clan fights some battles, they get caught up in wars, they travel vast distances over lands. Of course there's love interests in there, but that's not a major area in this book anyway, love stories. Now I read these books a few years ago too, recommended to me by a friend, and I fell in love with them. They were great books. I've actually got another Joe Abercrombie book called Heroes, I think it is, or Last of the Heroes or something. It's in my to read list. There's a lot of characters, so you've got to sort of concentrate to remember who's who. Sometimes I find that difficult. If you just keep reading along the story, you'll get the gist of it anyway. One thing about Logan Nine Fingers, he's one of these characters that's, I think they call him a berserker. When he gets in a situation where he's just overwhelmed with opponents or whatever, he suddenly goes into this trance-like state, doesn't know who he is or anything anymore. He just goes berserk, and he's just wielding his swords and weapons about, and basically annihilates everything around him. And that could be a bit dangerous if one of his colleagues are nearby. It was a good aspect about him, but I think it needed a bit more exploration. It sort of didn't touch on it enough, because he didn't understand it himself, and it wasn't really talked about that much. And I would have liked to have seen that ability used a bit more in some situations. Maybe he was too scared of it and tried to control it. I don't know. But I think you'll like this series. I certainly recommend it. Good reading, a lot of pages, but if you want something to do for any great length of time and a good storyline, ancient times, mystical energies, battles. There's some battle scenes in there that are just amazing. Like, we're talking hordes of enemies infiltrating fortressed lands, that sort of thing. And it can be quite graphic too. The book can be graphic. There's people get slain and butchered and that sort of stuff. So if you're into that bit of blood and gore, you'll like this story too. So I'd recommend The First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. Very well written. I'm sure there's some great blurbs in the books that I could have read to you that would have inspired you to read it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next review.